Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to this game. Welcome back to Pugsley Scavenger Hunt. So this is probably where we'll be hanging out for the rest of the night. This is a rough game, and we're gonna make it even harder. They're creepy and they're kooky. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky, I think are the words. But I'm definitely not an expert. They're altogether ooky, the Addams family, something like that. Alright, options mode. So we are going to turn up our lives since this is an experimental run. We're increasing the lives and we are decreasing the hearts. I really don't think this is going to be possible. Just seeing that single heart there makes me already regretful of this decision. So one of the things about this is, this game is hard to begin with, and like, this game has a lot of like beginner's traps, and I haven't played it for a little while, so I'm gonna be rusty on where that kind of stuff is. Of necessity, this will be a painfully slow playthrough. We cleared one room. We cleared a room. It would be nice if one heart meant we started with one heart, but we could still earn extra hearts. I really wish right now that that was the case. No! Oh, rip the Deathless Run. I didn't remember that thing was down there. Here's one of the things about this game, by the way, that prove that this game is outright malicious. Notice how I died? All of the enemies respawned, right? But do you remember how there were 3 coins here? Yeah, they're gone. The coins don't respawn when you die, but the enemies do. Now, even if I lose all of my lives and use a continue and restart from scratch, the coins will still be gone. They never come back in your entire playthrough. The only way to get those coins back is to turn the power off on the console. But the enemies come back every time, even if you just lose a life. It is so disgusting. The extra lives are like that too. So, while theoretically you can earn extra lives in this game, they all go away real fast. Like, you have to go seriously out of your way to program something that heinous. That doesn't just happen by accident. Oh look, a heart. That does us a lot of good, huh? Gotta make sure we always pick those up. I'm starting, by the way, not with the easiest level I could start with, but kind of the medium level. I think we have three levels available to us at the start of the game. And so I picked the one of moderate difficulty. I maybe should have started with the hardest one. That might have been better for our experiment. One death so far, EpiPen. One death. I don't even remember how I died. It was just like, just got hit by a regular enemy. It wasn't anything spectacular. Or out of the ordinary, even. Oh, that slowdown. I will very much, I will very much go out of my way for, coins and such. Extra lives are going to be super important to me. Think a block appears over here? It does. How's that for a risk? Alright, I've made it through 2 rooms. Every door should be a checkpoint. Stuck. No! I thought that was gonna happen. That's why I didn't want to go on that cycle, and then I missed the one I wanted because I got stuck. There's a quirk to the controls where if you accidentally get an up input, Pugsley locks in place and can't move. And that counts for directly up as well as either up diagonal. So if the if up on the D-pad, ever reads at all by mistake, then it's I get stuck and unable to move. It's pretty frustrating. So close. No! Ah, we still made it. You know how much I love taking risks. It's rough. It's rough. I have to jump over that, but not into the poison. Where did this enemy come from? That's not right. There weren't two of those. No. So scary. I don't know where a lot of shortcuts in this game are. There are a lot of shortcuts in a lot of levels. That is one of the few that I use. I think there are like 3 shortcuts that I use, typically. There's this one here. There's one in the underground stage. There's one in and there's one in the bathroom, in the bathtub stage. No. This elevator right here will kill you, by the way. If you ride this elevator all the way to the top, it crushes you and you die. Real nice. I'm really worried because this one heart mode means I have to defeat all of the bosses damageless, and I don't know that I know the bosses well enough. I got lucky there. That should have been a death. That 100% should have been a death. so close. That was so close. Bummer. Oh, that's another good reason. So there are actually multiple good reasons to find secrets. You want to make sure you enter all the secrets because entering a secret creates a new checkpoint for you. I don't know if I ever fully appreciated the value of that. I don't know if I ever really appreciated that until now. Alright, well here's a secret that I don't typically remember to use. Oh no, you can't even do it from this side. Never mind. There's a secret here. You just have to take my word for it. See? Oh. Okay, it doesn't work the way I thought it did. I thought you could enter from the top. You can only enter from, like, part of the way up. Oh, I have tons of lives. I only have one heart. I have tons of lives, EpiPen. I set the stock lives at 7. The challenge isn't to do this in a certain number of lives. It's only to do it with a certain number of hearts. I have all the lives. I have all the lives. I mean, I don't have infinite lives. I have a base stock of 7 before I have to restart a stage. So I can kind of afford to die once per room, is sort of the situation, because each stage is about 7 rooms big, sometimes a little bigger than that. So I can die about once per room, but then I won't have a lot of lives to waste on the boss if I die that frequently. So I need to try and make sure it's a lot less. No, this is an experimental run. So, like, if this run goes miraculously smoothly, then I would try one heart with a fixed amount of lives, but I don't even expect I'm gonna be able to beat this. Especially if I'm playing like that. I don't even expect I'm gonna beat this tonight. I didn't know there's an enemy over there. I got so lucky. Can you believe that? I'm wondering to myself, do I even want to go for this secret? It'll reset all the enemies in there. Mortal Kombat's got nothing on this. Yeah, the jumping on eyeballs is pretty gruesome, huh? Alright, we're almost at the boss. Fingers crossed. This is a tough boss, too. I picked a tough boss to start with. Wish the boss only had one heart. I shouldn't have gone for that jump. That wasn't smart. I know better than that. I don't know why I did that. I wanted to go for another hit. but one of the little bugs is in the way. Oh, he got me. No. No, I disagree. This is not fair. I'm being mistreated. Maybe if it wanted to not spawn 400 million of these things, you know, I'd be okay with that. I don't even know what hit me. I don't even know what hit me down there in the corner that time. Did the boss hit me? I don't buy it. One heart is rough. One heart is rough, everybody. I don't know if you've noticed. The slow down. Hey, I actually could have gone for an additional hit. bogus. So bogus. Ah, I should be able to fall through him. Rip. I don't think we're gonna get this. I don't think we're gonna get it. Curses. Now I have to do the whole level again. From the top. There's no sense in there's no sense in using a continue when it's when we haven't cleared a level yet. I got there pretty smoothly too. That's the thing. I got there pretty smoothly. I had a bunch of lives. It's all just so hard. Well, that's off to a good start. I wish I could reset. This challenge was a huge mistake. Lucky I died there last time. I remembered I died there, and I actually remembered what killed me, but I didn't remember its exact positioning, so I didn't know if I was gonna be able to avoid it or not. Oh no, I blocked myself out of a secret. I'm playing so badly. I lost a life. I lost a life to the first enemy. I'm blocking myself out of secrets. This is not good. This is no way to behave. And it's only gonna get so much harder. It's only gonna get so much harder. Panic. I feel panic. Oops. Alright, we're okay. Does this game always have so much slowdown? I feel like it's had extra slowdown tonight. I don't know if anyone else remembers, but I'll remind us all now. There is one room in this game that I do not know how to clear without taking damage. There is one room in the ice level that I don't know how to avoid damage in. So, Frownie is doomed. Yeah, well, I say, like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do in that situation? The electricity wouldn't turn off. I did everything right, and I still got punished. Yeah, when I said earlier that I didn't think I could do this challenge, I wasn't just being modest. I honestly don't think I can do it. As even if I make it up to the ice level, I can't clear the ice level. It doesn't matter because we won't get there anyway. All I'll be able to do is say I tried. I want to try and push you into playing this deathless, but I know my only reward would be seeing more Pugsley. Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about me accepting that challenge, EpiPen. Cool. I'm glad there's a heart spawn there. This is really useful to me. I don't know why I can't get through here. I got through here once before. I don't know. I'm throwing these lives away and restarting. You're saying that as if Pugsley is a bad thing. AT, dude, welcome in. Could it be? We have another Pugsley fan? That run felt cursed from the start, so... I should have restarted from the very beginning. Alright, deep breaths, slow and steady. Caution is key. I actually messed up there with that frog, but fortunately I didn't die. I forgot to hold the jump button, so I should have died instead of getting those extra bounces, but the game had mercy on me. Pretty rare, I know. So we should acknowledge it when it happens. You get an extra life every 50,000 points. You get 10 points for every enemy you kill. So if you kill 500 enemies, you get an extra life, right? Is that how that math works? There's actually a couple places in the game where you can farm points for infinite lives if you have infinite patience. I don't like how that went. I don't like how that went at all. There's one really good place to farm points, and there's a couple really bad places. But there's quite a few areas where it's doable. I mean, technically, anywhere there's a door, you could farm points if you're willing to go back and forth through the door over and over again to respawn the enemies, but that's super slow. And also, sometimes going backward through a door can soft lock the game. I learned that the hard way. I don't think I ever put a shout-out link in the chat for Chozo. If you've been hanging around here for a while, my friend, surely you know Chozo, but if you didn't know that he streams, you can use that link there to give our friend a follow. Better late than never, right? Chozo and I like a lot of, we have a lot of overlap in the games that we like, though he's played a lot more than I have. I think Cal's gave me one. Oh yeah, that's right. I think it was Jelly. Cal's, I don't think Cal's is here tonight. I forgot about that. I forgot that Jelly was here earlier, though. I'm used to her heading off to bed earlier. But hey, an extra shout out. It's not gonna hurt you, right? Thank goodness. That part right there might be one of the hardest parts in the game. I need to get to a checkpoint before I die and have to do it again. I didn't appreciate that at all the first time we passed by that part. But that is tough. The timing there is super tough. Hey, Omega, welcome in. Yeah, I'm trying to play this game on one heart mode, and I honestly don't expect to beat it tonight. This is more of just an experiment to see how hard it is. The big problem is there's one room that I actually have no clue how to get through without taking damage. Oh, so right here, if you wanted to try and farm points, you could do that right here. But look, you only get like 400 points every time, and look how slow it is to go back and forth through this door. And you need 50,000? So like, what would that take? It would take at least 100 trips. It'd be more than that, back and forth through that door. It'd be terrible. Terribly slow. That only gets you one life, too. I'm not too big on the idea of life farming anyway for a challenge run, because I don't feel like it's in the spirit of the challenge. It really doesn't mean anything to say that I beat a game in 1 credit if I use an exploit to give myself 1,000 lives. Well, technically, yeah, but I mean, like, it's like... You know, it kind of feels like, you know, like I could go out back and shoot some hoops, and then I could come inside and say, yeah, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but I just beat Shaquille O'Neal at basketball. I mean, he didn't know we were playing, and he wasn't there, so so it was really easy. But technically, I beat him. Yeah, that's a pretty good story to walk into. Haystack Cat, welcome in. Yeah, I was talking about the time I beat Shaq at basketball, Chozo. Are we doing Shaq Fu? So I actually played Shaq Fu on the stream one night, and I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't complete it though either. I think I got about halfway through it. I mean, it's not good. Don't get me wrong, it's not good, but you could definitely do worse. I played it on the same night. I played Shaq Fu on the same night I started Echo the Dolphin. Those were the two games that night, and I thought that they were very similar. I thought they were both pretty okay presentation-wise, but very janky. You never played it? Two great games to play in one night. Oh, what a doozy. What a doozy it was. I'd like to go back and beat it sometime, but I don't know, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. I don't know if I have it in me for that one. Oh, I got robbed there. The flames were out of the flames were in improper sequence. I know the pattern of those flames. Yeah. What? Okay. Maybe I didn't know the pattern of those flames. Maybe it is different than I thought. One of the gaps wasn't as long as I thought it was. Fighting games are always cheap as you get further into them, Chozo says. I really haven't gotten all that far into a lot of fighting games. Probably Killer Instinct is the fighting game that I've done the most. The original on the Super NES. I may have even beaten that one on an easier difficulty. Can't say for sure. They need quarters. At least in Ghosts and Goblins you can take 2 hits. Yeah, you have to play this perfectly. Well, I'm doing it to myself, Omega, right? Because I turned the hearts down. By default, you have 3 hearts, but I increased the difficulty I wanted to see how bad it is in the 1 heart mode, and guess what? It's pretty bad. I think I can beat this first stage. I think I can beat this first stage. I made it up to the boss. I struggled too much with the boss. I think I'm 2 rooms away from him now. Kind of glad I missed the arcade era, because money, but being a part of the atmosphere would have been cool, Chozo says. Yeah, my experience with arcades is really limited. There were a couple arcade machines at the Pizza Hut in town where I grew up. And there was a barbecue joint a town over that had a few arcade machines. I didn't go there very often. We went to the Pizza Hut pretty regularly when I was a kid. Don't know what I was supposed to do about that. Am I fully engrossed in the thrill of 1 Heart Pugsley yet? It's rough, Zergling. It's rough. I don't know if you have been here this whole time, but I did make it up to the first boss. I can't make it back, but we did see the first boss, and I made it there with a lot of lives too. You saw that? 1 hit away from victory. Was I 1 hit away from victory? Oh, that hurts even more. I didn't realize how close I was. Typical. Typical Frownie, right? Hey, Lord Malachi, welcome in. Your destiny looms ever closer. I was hoping you were gonna catch us tonight. Think you are quite arguably the largest supporter of Pugsley on the stream. It's going pretty rough. It's going pretty rough, Lord Malachite. I think I might not be the chosen one. I made it up to the first boss, but it's really tough. It's really tough to defeat that boss without taking any hits. Very typical Frownie. He stumbles at the finish line, then after struggling to cross it, he sets a new finish line, which is nearly impossible to reach, and struggles and wonders why he is so broken for many, many hours. Can I put that paragraph on the back of my autobiography? Want to give a heads up that this coming Thursday afternoon I'll be having eye surgery. If I don't have the surgery, I'll go blind, but the surgery itself will make me blind, possibly for weeks. If you don't see me for a while starting Thursday, I didn't get mad or stop liking your streams. I just literally can't see. Well, boy, that's rough, Malachite. I wish you a speedy recovery. I hope the surgery goes well. Those are some pretty serious stakes. And I do appreciate the heads up. I'm not in the habit of chasing people down when they don't show up to the stream. I do wonder, like, sometimes when we have people that, like, you know, they stop showing up, I do wonder if I annoyed them, or if they changed their schedule, or if they just got tired of my self-inflicted punishment. But and sometimes I'm tempted to reach out to someone, you know, just to let them know that I notice and care that they're gone. You know, but I don't do it because I don't feel it would be proper to, like, chase people down. So I don't ever actually reach out to anyone when they disappear. But I do think about them, so I do appreciate the heads up. Me, StatCat says. Don't worry, Frownie can give you the best descriptions of what he sees while playing if he knows you're on. Oh yeah, it'll be almost as good as I am at describing flavors. For sure. Between temporary blindness and permanent blindness, temporary blindness seems better. A little bit. I'm legally blind in my left eye. Right eye is on the cusp of having a cornea tear, which will make me blind in both eyes. The surgery will intentionally scratch the cornea in my good eye. This will force my body to naturally heal and repair it, which will prevent it from tearing. This level is soda-y. Oh, this level's so chewy. Yeah, thinking about stuff with eyeballs can make me feel a little fragile. No, you're fine, Malachite. You're fine. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing. And I do very much wish you the best. I think, yeah, I think being terrified is a reason. That being terrified of not getting my vision back, I think that's a very reasonable response. Will my last memories be of Frownie conquering Pugsley forever? Oh no. Oh no, the pressure. I have to say, Malachite, I've said from the very start of tonight, I honestly don't think I can beat this game in one heart mode, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I don't know yet, but for sure, I don't know how to get through the icebox without taking damage. There's one area where damage is pretty much mandatory. I've lucked my way through it without taking damage, but in the hundreds of times I've done it, I've never made it consistent, so this could be a challenge that is beyond me. I have my limits. I definitely can't do everything in video games. There's some stuff that I'm very aware is beyond my skill. But we're trying it out. We're trying it out regardless. I'm gonna boldly march into the impossible situation and probably fail. I mean, I probably won't even make it that far to have to worry about it, but yeah, the icebox is gonna crush me, I think. EpiPen says, on the other hand, you've been stomping on eyeballs all week. It's true. I don't know, the enemies in the game, it seems a lot less real to me. I personally would not think even a little less of you if you exploit the game to build up a near infinite cache of lives for one heart mode. I'd still call your win a victory if in that instance you beat it. Well, we are playing, like, I'm already playing with 7 lives. I already cranked up the lives in the menu. Because this isn't, like... This isn't a challenge run. This is an experimental run. It's a challenging experimental run. I haven't encountered anything yet. I haven't encountered anything yet that would cause me to say definitively that 1 heart, 1 CC is impossible. Like, I know the icebox makes it impossible, but I'm just saying, from what I've encountered so far, I feel, everything I've come across, I feel like I could master to the extent of being, or to the degree of being able to 1 credit. My eyes are really bad. It's not the same situation, StatCat says, but corrective surgery would be amazing. When the game cheats you, I don't feel so bad about cheating back, Omega says. But Frownie did this out of his own free will, so... Sometimes I wonder how much free will Frownie truly has with the gaming choices he makes time and time again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, Omega. If I can beat 1 heart mode, 1 heart, 1 CC is possible in theory. If I can beat it without a situation that feels entirely up to luck. Wow, Malachite. I didn't even know such things existed. Frownie will be an old man in his 70s showing the world how to master this forgotten game and laughing at his insanity while doing it. I love this game, and I love Frownie's approach to it. It is destiny. Well, let's see. Let's see if I'm destined to beat this boss. No! No! I disagree. I was above him. Please get that bug away from me. Let's go! Level 1 conquered! Oh my goodness, we beat a level! Frownie is evidence that free will is just an illusion. No one would ever choose this. It's just a bunch of electrons and neurons banging around. Oh, we beat a level. We beat a level, everybody. Let's go. I'm going to purposely lose these lives so I can start with a fresh credit now. I'm going to go up here because this place is hard. There's a lot of enemies I can easily, or there's a lot of spikes right at the beginning. I can easily throw these away. We did. We beat a whole level. We beat a whole level. Only 6 more to go. That wasn't the easiest level in the game, but it was the second easiest, so... My victory is a little more hollow than it might seem. I'll deflate myself in the moment. See that? I almost didn't continue. Alright, so this is the easiest level in the game, so I should be able to get through this one fairly without too much difficulty. Fingers crossed. With 3 hearts, this is the easiest level in the game. With 1 heart, it might become impossible. It's an exceedingly rare condition in which the corneas become cone-shaped. Makes it hard to perceive things properly, your eyes don't focus as they should, and you're extremely light-sensitive. You have to have everything in dark mode and font set to quite large. Over time, the corneas come in too much a point and tear. Happened long ago in my left eye, and now it's getting there in the right. Alright, this is another shortcut. Like I was saying before, I don't use that many shortcuts. There's one I'm gonna have to use. So I actually know about a shortcut in one of the levels that I've never used. because I found it while watching another Pugsley stream. Because that's just how much I can't get enough of this game. Not only do I play it all the time, but I watch other people play it. But I found out about a shortcut that I didn't learn about on my playthrough. And normally that would be a situation where I would say, because I didn't find it myself, I would want to avoid using it, but in the one heart mode, I think it's actually mandatory. I think it's actually mandatory in one heart, so... No, yeah, that's what I was saying. For a regular playthrough, I wouldn't use it. Like, I didn't use it. I think I knew about it. I think I knew about it when I did the 1cc, but I didn't use it then. But for one heart, I think it's actually mandatory. Did I know this secret was here? I don't know if I've ever been in here before. This feels new. How did I miss that? You have to walk on those platforms. How would I have never found that? That's wild. Zergling says, it surprises me that eye transplants aren't a thing yet. There are plenty of people that pass on with reasonably working eyes. Yeah, I've never really thought about that. Surely someone's working on it, right? I wonder if just like the nerves are just really hard to connect. Or cornea transplants. They don't want to do that to me unless all other options are exhausted. They're very uncomfortable. I don't think you're supposed to make that jump like that. I think you're supposed to... Whoa. Oh, bogus. I was jumping onto that duck. No. Oh, I should probably mention again, just because it's unusual. But I'm thinking that I'm probably going to show up tomorrow for an afternoon stream. I'm hoping to do a bonus stream tomorrow, and it'll be much earlier in the day. So if that time's more convenient for you, or if you're desperately keeping a watch streak alive, then just a heads up. It would probably be really worth your while to look for me in the sort of mid to late afternoon, early evening. I'm thinking like around 3 or 4 p.m. for startup. Maybe, possibly a little earlier. And we'll go until about dinner time, so like 8 or 9 at night. All Pugsley all the time. No, we're gonna play a Switch game. Jelly found a game on the Switch that's like it looks like a retro throwback type game. It looks very Mega Man in style. I don't really know anything about it. She just saw it on the shelf of the library and checked it out for me. And she actually wants to play it this weekend, but she wants me to play it first. So I'm gonna do an extra stream to get ahead of her. It's called Gravity something. Gravity. It's Gravity something. It's not, the title isn't coming to me. By the way, this is where you can farm lives. If you have a lot of patience, you can hang out right here. And see how this score is going up? It's going to go up to 1600. And it's going to stay at 1600 every time one of these things breaks against me. And you only need 50,000 for an extra life. So if you hang out here for like 2 hours, you can get 100 lives. Gravity Circuit, that's it. That's the one. So yeah, I don't know anything about it except it looks like it might be sort of Mega Man in style, and I'm gonna go into it blind. So if you want to check that out with me, that's what we're gonna try and do tomorrow. Do you enforce your insane no spoiler rules on Jelly too? So you have to play all games before her? Kind of. Whenever Jelly plays a game, she usually wants me to be... Like, she doesn't usually play them on her own. She usually wants me to be hanging out with her if she's going to play a game. And so if she's playing something that I want to play, then I'll almost always play it first. If it's something that I don't really care to play, then that doesn't matter. If it's something like we can both play at the same time, then of course, you know, we can play it both at the same time. But we usually don't like doing co-op. Not simultaneous anyway. Sometimes the key to a successful marriage is not playing sports and video games together, Zergling says. Well, we don't really play competitively. Jelly does not have my, she doesn't have my crazy blind approach to games. Like, she doesn't, you know, she doesn't like to have stuff spoiled for her, but she is, she's much more open to some, to backseating than I am. If she gets stuck for a while, she's usually happy to have suggestions and help, whereas I am pretty much never. So she usually likes, that's one of the reasons she usually likes for me to have gone through something first, is because then she can ask me if she gets stuck with something. And not have to drive herself into frustration. Though I will admit, I'm not always as quite as helpful as she would like. Because if I know she can figure if I have more confidence in her that she can figure something out, then I'm less helpful than she would like me to be. I think there's a spot that's very difficult to avoid damage in the end of this level, so I need to be real careful as we approach the end of it. Is that fish ever coming back? I waited for an hour. I was just about to say, you can take a lot of bogus hits from this octopus. The hitboxes, I guess, on these arms are what gets me. I don't know. You take damage when it really doesn't look like you should. When it really doesn't look like you should. This is gonna be awful. I was going in for a second hit there, but it's not happening. One away, and I got robbed. There's no justice. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's set up to kill you. It's like a timer that runs down. You must take damage. This is the worst thing ever. And I'm very mad about it. Get out of here, octopus. Imagine how great this boss would be with 8 legs. I don't want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to open my brain to that. Don't worry, that was intentional. I'm not outraged about that, because I wanted to lose a life. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild that you can die out here, right? The hub world should not be deadly. Alright, so this stage here, this is the hardest stage we've been to yet, and this is going to be really tough. I guess that's another shortcut that I actually do use. I didn't think about that one, but yeah, that's a shortcut too. There are lots of shortcuts I make use of in this game. There's one room on this level, by the way, there's one room on this level that is another situation where I don't really know how to avoid damage. I've only ever lucked my way through. I theoretically understand how it can be done damageless, but I've never intentionally executed upon it. See, I knew it was possible. Yep, yeah, exactly. 100 jumps to fit through the magic pixel. I knew it was possible because I'd done it before. Normally, like, that'd be a situation where I'd give up, right? But I had empirical proof that it's possible. That one-up perfectly illustrates how Frownie's brain works. Or more accurately, how it doesn't. That one's easy. The other one's impossible, and that one's easy. Didn't make it. But I remembered where to stand. Ooh, that's... Ah! Oh. I forgot about those. You can also farm points, I think, by standing right here. Yeah, but you can't get the 1600 at a time, so it's way slow if you wanna farm lives here. You've got to like set the controller down and go for a long walk, like a 4-hour walk, because it takes 500 blocks of cheese to get 1 extra life. But there's no inputs required from you for that, so you could just set the controller down and go do something. Count out all the numbers on Nintendo Switch Online service. That's where we are now. And there are Japanese exclusives we don't get to see. That's the yeah, the retro games, the free retro games on the Switch. The air quotes free. That was bogus. Yeah. I'm in trouble. That was a 1-up. Hey, thank you, Game and Fit. I do appreciate the offer, but yeah, I'm all right. Oh, this is the room. I don't know how to get through this room without taking damage, by the way. Oh, cool. I forgot about the explosive. Hmm. No! Oh, the panic. That was working really well. That was working really well until it didn't. What a brutal room this is, right? So close. We were so close. It doesn't even matter now, because even if I make it through, even if I did make it through, I don't have any lives to carry on with. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna learn this missile room. Thought I remembered you could kick missiles, but I don't remember which game that was. Well, it's not this one. Not that I'm aware of. I don't recall ever successfully kicking a missile. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd love to inflict some damage upon these missiles, but actually kicking missiles and blowing up helicopters. What? Why? Oh, this is the same room we were just in, only at a different altitude. Oh, that's interesting. I never noticed that before. Or maybe I did and I forgot. That happens a lot. Yeah, there's that heart. Huh. I don't buy it. I don't buy that damage. So the missile room does seem to be mandatory. was hoping to devise a way to skip this room. No, we were right next to the door. Starfy. I don't know that game really well, but I actually have heard of it. Looks like Kirby, but probably harder. I don't know. There aren't a lot of games out there harder than Kirby. Kirby's some of the toughest games around. I hate this. I hate this so much. Nothing about this is fun. Nothing about that room is fun. Of course I don't believe at all that Kirby is an easy series. I've played Kirby games. I know what I'm talking about. Kirby's like, oh, this is cute. This game will be relaxing and fun. And then the final boss is some Lovecraftian nightmare that takes 40 hours to defeat. And you only get there after the misery of uncovering the entire game for secrets that are impossibly well hidden. I like them though. I really like Kirby games. They're great fun. Why am I even doing that? There's not even a 1-up over there anymore. I'm chasing phantom 1-ups. I'm cool with Kirby Game Fit says. My favorite Nintendo franchises go Zelda, Mario, Metroid, Kirby, Pokemon, Animal Crossing. Then all the rest just get lumped together at the bottom. Yeah, I would have to think about that. I would say Zelda and Mario and Kirby are all at the top, but what order they're in would be pretty difficult to decide. I would have said that Zelda games were my favorite at one point, but that's probably, I don't feel like that's probably true anymore. Probably Mario, then Kirby, then Zelda. Then maybe Pikmin, then Metroid, then the rest. I don't know, Animal Crossing should be pretty high in there too somewhere, but I don't know exactly where. But that's mostly just because of New Horizons. Though I will play whatever the next Animal Crossing is. I will play it day one. This stream is gonna get really monotonous when another Animal Crossing game comes out. This stream's gonna get real monotonous for a little while. Heads up about that. There's gonna be like 12-hour streams every day of me just fishing. And I'm not even lying. Those are the kind of games I get super absorbed. I get super absorbed in those kind of games. I can do menial tasks in Animal Crossing until I pass out from exhaustion. Nice. I don't know if I've ever made that bounce before. I'll be bringing over furniture and pictures and stuff. Hopefully I have the drop it and out gameplay with those things. That might be an interesting experience playing a Animal Crossing game on stream. That might get weird. I didn't think about people would probably want to send me stuff. If it's purple, it's going to Frownie. I have a completely purple island, wall to wall. Just unload, just drop purple clothing and furniture on my villagers until they're forced to monochrome their lives too. That could be an interesting project. That's why I've never started up Stardew Valley. Because I've seen some gameplay of Stardew Valley, and I know that I would love that game too much, so I don't ever play it. If I started it, I would never stop. My mom absolutely loves it too, and now there's been so much I've been converted to purple too. Yeah. I don't know when I started, I don't know when I became so, aggressively attached to the color purple. It hasn't been necessarily my favorite color my whole life, but definitely my whole adult life. I think around college age, I started appreciating exactly how fine a color purple is. I can't even make it back. I can't even make it back to the rocket room to get another try. Have I mentioned that this is no way to live? Because, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm barely alive. This game is draining on my heart and mind and soul. One genre I'm really bad at is strategy games. Fire Emblem Advance Wars, terrible at those games. Beating a battle on the easiest setting, I'm sweating bullets by the end. I don't imagine that I'm ever going to get into a strategy game other than Pikmin. I think Pikmin is probably the beginning and end of my interest in the strategy genre. I was trying to jump onto that enemy. I was not trying to run into that enemy. I saw him. I was pressing the jump button. I don't know what I did wrong. Pretty okay turn-based strategy. I'm pretty okay at real-time strategy. I'm out for tonight. Wish you luck, Frownie. I can't stand listening to this game any further. Hey, thank you for being here, Zergling. Have a great rest of your night. I understand. It takes a lot. It takes a lot out of a person to endure Pugsley for too long. That part at the end, that part at the end of the loop in this song where it gets really high pitched and trails off, it's so shrill. Thank you for the emotional support, Game and Fit. It really does mean a lot. I'm trying to focus. I need to. Thank you, Game and Fit. I appreciate you. I appreciate you checking it out before posting it. I can't say I have an idea what it is you're talking about. I think it's something I haven't seen. How's this going so far? Terribly, EpiPen. Terribly. This room here is my PB, but I can't seem to cross it. There's too many missiles. This room is impossible. Two levels. I got 2 levels done. But I think this is the end of my run. I think this is the end of my run. I don't think I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this stage. I'm kind of surprised there's nothing up there. All that extra rope. They could have hit a secret up there. I wouldn't have minded. What even hit me? I got killed by nonsense. What was it? It was nonsense. That's all it was. You know what? I didn't know that I never knew that generates a heart. I didn't know that's what that question mark was for until just now. There's a 1-up down there? Well, it's too late to get it now. I learned something. In 5 days or so, the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition goes live. I hate to admit it, but I'm buying it to practice those hard parts to get better at NES games. There's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know that I'll be checking it out. Probably not. It's gonna contain a lot of like little segments from games I haven't ever played. I don't want the spoilers, you know? Like, I don't want to play a segment from something like Kid Icarus or Metroid or something. I have played a little Metroid, but I've never done a full playthrough. I started a playthrough a long time ago, but I never completed it. It's a lot of challenges, getting the perfect score on each one. It'll keep me busy for a while. I definitely get the appeal. But yeah, I'm gonna pass on it myself. Watch the animated Mario Brothers movie. It spoiled a Kid Icarus feature for me. Oh no. So I watched that, but I don't remember that. So luckily I seem to have avoided the spoiler by not paying proper attention. I definitely want to play that game. We should do a marathon on the stream where I play all of the video games featured. We should do a marathon on the stream where I do a I should do a marathon where I play every game featured in the Captain N series. That would be fun. It'd be all NES and it would be all NES and it would be all NES and Game Boy games. Right? But I should do all of them back to back, right? I would have to do so his team members, Kid Icarus and Mega Man. Well, even Metroid, I would have to do them in the order they're introduced in the beginning. And a lot of the games I've already played, and some of them I haven't. But some of them are really long. Like, it'd be a really long event. I think it's a good idea, though. I think it's a good project. Yep. Yeah, yep, Castlevania. But, like, every episode is, like, set up to advertise a particular game, too, right? So... like, I'd have to do all the base ones, and then I'd have to go through the series and play every game as it appears in the series. After I get through the introduction. King Hippo is there, so Punch-Out I'd also have to do. I want to play Punch-Out anyway. It's been on my mind a lot lately. Jelly and I watched a bunch of the Rocky movies and had me feeling like I should play some Punch-Out. Punch-Out is so good. Yeah, that one I've never really done before. I think I probably played it a little bit as a kid at some point. I never had it. I think... Well, I don't know. I think someone I knew had a copy, but it wasn't someone that I spent a lot of time with. Someone I only hung out with very infrequently. So I've probably played the first couple of stages of Punch-Out on my own. I don't know. I know Super Punch-Out a little bit. I played a lot more Super Punch-Out than I ever played original Punch-Out. Do you use passwords, or do you always play fresh from the start? It depends on the game and fit. Usually I'm fine to use the passwords. I don't have a strict no passwords policy. In fact, I almost always use them. Unless when we did Bubsy, I didn't use any passwords for Bubsy. All right, so here's my thought. Here's my thought with passwords. If it's a game with limited continues, but it also has passwords, I don't like, if I run out of continues, I don't really like using a password to continue from where I was. I usually just want to restart. Right? Passwords, like I use passwords with like longer linear games. You know, like you would normally use them to turn your console off and come back to where you were. But I've kind of stopped using them to extend the amount of credits I'm giving. And now I lean more toward restarting. I definitely didn't used to be like that, right? But I'm more like that now. And I think Bubsy marks the real change in that approach. Because like when we played Castlevania Bloodlines a few years ago, I did use the passwords in that to extend my credits. I have since done the game without passwords. But yeah, I don't really like doing that anymore. I'd rather just replay and get better at the first part of the game. I'd love to use a password to skip by this rocket room. Aladdin uses passwords, but... Sorry. I think you said Aladdin gives you passwords, but it gives you less hearts when you use them. Sometimes it gives you more or less hearts. It gives you more when you use the password sometimes? That's silly. I'm too lazy for passwords. But yeah, like if we play a Mega Man game on stream though, I'm probably gonna use I'm gonna write down the password at the end of the night and pick up where we left off. I probably won't do a Mega Man game in one sitting. Not on a first playthrough. A repeated one I can probably get through in a single sitting, but new ones usually take me a couple nights. I'm too lazy for passwords. I'm just like, I'll go back to stage 1. Obviously, there's something I need to learn. Plus, I don't like typing stuff in. I'm sorry I can't get through this. Let's do a different level for a while. Well, again, like, Mega Man is an infinite continues game, so in an infinite continues game, I think that I'm okay with the passwords because I'm not using them to circumvent the limitations. Right, I'm just using it to turn my console off for the night. And I feel more okay about that. This, by the way, is the most is the most difficult stage we've been to so far. This stage should be much more difficult than the previous one, but I'm just so tired of that missile room. I'm so tired of that missile room, I'll play a harder stage just to see something different, you know? Yeah, or like Echo. And passwords? Oh, you just said that. I don't, well, I don't know exactly what you were trying to say, though, EpiPen. We're just chilling. I almost never get bored or bothered watching you spend 50 hours on the same part. Well, that's a relief, Game and Fit. Thank you for that. I feel terrible pressure whenever I spend a super long time on one thing in a game. There are parts of this I don't really know how to get through this stage, now that I'm thinking about it, so this will be a little ugly. I said there's nothing quite like the missile room, but that's not true. There's a room with a lot of fireballs that's going to be exactly like the missile room. Except they're not random. The trouble with the missile room is that the missiles are, like, pretty random. Maybe not entirely so, but I can't memorize the pattern. The fireballs are predictable, so that should be easier. Like Echo, prime example. Prime example of spending 50 hours on something. To be fair, I was only stuck on the last stage of Echo for 21 hours. It wasn't 50. Nice night for a night. What is that? I don't. I feel like I've heard that, but I don't remember what it's from. Oh, it's just similar to the Castlevania 2 thing. I thought it was something I heard before somewhere. I wish I could just jump up onto that platform. It would really enhance my life. Oh no! Not my fault, I jumped too high. Maybe I think I'm so creative at coming up with these jokes, only learned they were around 300 years ago. So I tell a joke at the beginning of every stream, right? And when I come up with a joke, it doesn't have to be something I'm sure is original. Right? Because sometimes I tell a joke at the beginning and I'm like, I know someone has said this before. I know that this is not something new. But if I don't have a specific memory of hearing it somewhere, then it's fair game. Like, if someone tells me a joke and I remember it, then it's not acceptable to use it on the stream. But if I'm sitting there thinking and I come up with a joke and I'm like, well, that's pretty obvious. I'm sure someone has said it before, but I don't remember ever hearing it, then it's fair game. And I'm just on the honor system with myself. Bogus? How did I fall off that platform? Alright, this is the room that I was saying is like the missile room. It's got all these fireballs, and I am definitely not expert in dodging them. See, like right there, I think I have to thread the needle between those, and that's not an acceptable situation. Not at all. No. No. Mario in line at the DMV getting outraged at not being recognized. We actually did better at this stage than we actually did better at this stage than I thought we were going to. For our first try. Makes me so mad. You've got this. Your persistence doesn't allow you to not win. Well, the clock is going to allow me to not win. It's getting pretty late. And I'm not even halfway through the game, so... Please do not think we are going to finish this tonight. I assure you we are not. Unless I have the most miraculous turnaround in human history. Leaving on my birth weekend. I mean, I'm here for another hour and a half, so... You know, we'll see. I'm gonna be here until 5. We start feeling really stuck. If we start feeling really stuck, we could abandon this and play something different for the last hour. We could do something easy like Super Ghouls and Ghosts. For the, what would that be, like the 800th time I've played it on stream. I have trouble beating it using the rewind feature. Oh no, Game and Fit. No, don't. No. You can get it. You can get it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I can't get him to walk. I can't get him to walk. I can only beat Mario 3 using warps too. Can't go through every level. I can do every level. It took me a while to be able to do that. I always used the warps when I was a kid, so I'm really bad at some of the stages still as an adult, but I can do them all. Some of those levels in Pipe World take me a lot of tries. The Ice World and the Pipe World, I'm really bad at those worlds. Because I didn't ever play those very much. But then when I make it back to the Dark World, I'm good again because I did play that one a lot. He won't crouch walk. Do you see what's happening? It just... My diagonal inputs are doing nothing. Look, now he's doing it. Now he's doing it. Well, he's standing up too, which he's not supposed to do. I don't know what is up. Today I played Mario. My goal was to keep my cool and have fun the whole time. I got mad once because I had to finish the game before I had to leave the house. The lava fireball at the end got me. Mario 1. So the lava fireball right after the Hammer Brother in the final castle. That's a rough place to die. That bird turns around. Oh, you're doing the All-Stars version. Right on. Exactly. Yeah, that's a rough place to die. I mean, that's really your last opportunity to die. I mean, I know Bowser can still kill you, but... like, that's your last opportunity to die before the final boss. Am I wearing out? Am I wearing out, my friends? That sounds like a clown honking his nose. That's exactly what it is. I'm being mocked. I'm being mocked at a clown. But I'm being mocked at a clown. I'm being mocked by a clown. And the secret is that I was the clown the whole time. I don't mind doing a stretch break. Let me finish off these lives. We'll do the stretch break at the continue. I'll stretch too. Oh. I've been doing a lot of stretching lately. I've been trying to do like 15 to 20 minutes of pretty intense stretching every day. I've done it every day this week. kind of like a yoga program. It's a lot more sophisticated than the stretches I do on my stretch break. Oh, it's making me yawn. Take some time to stretch your legs too, everybody. That's what I'm doing, rotating my ankles. Same, my chest pain won't go away until I stretch. I'll burp and immediately feel better like a baby, Game and Fit says. Alright, I think that's pretty thorough stretch. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, I'm trying to get back into a more rigorous fitness routine. And I figured just a week where I committed to stretching every day was a good way to get started. Hey Tuesday, welcome in. Happy Tuesday to you, my friend. Welcome to Pugsley Scavenger Hunt in one heart mode. It is so difficult. It is so difficult Tuesday. I beat 2 stages, but I think I'm done. I beat 2 stages, but I think I'm done. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Stretching the muscles is so healthy. Increases the range of movement. Helps to repair sore muscles. Yeah, and I like sort of complicated stretching routines, like yoga type stuff. I'm not really I don't really partake in all of the sort of mysticism of it, but so that's why I wouldn't really say that what I do is yoga, but it's pretty intense and sophisticated. It's pretty intense and sophisticated stretching routine. That's pretty heavily inspired by a yoga routine. But yeah, I've been pretty off again, on again with the gym thing. And I'm trying to work back into it a little slowly, so... I'll have a routine soon. I'll have a routine soon that's structured around, my stretching program, and stationary bike, and dumbbell routine. But I'm only incorporating one of those elements at a time. My birthday yesterday, went to Cold Stone Creamery. Being on this diet for so long, I wanted to say one of everything, please. Yeah, I haven't had anything snack or junk foody. I haven't had anything sort of snack or junk foody in quite a while. I quit, I quit all alcohol a couple, like, 2 months ago, something like that. And then I quit all sodas about a month ago, and with the sodas, just out went, so there's no candy, no cookies, no cakes, no chips. Just nothing. I just kind of stopped all that stuff. I don't have a huge sweet tooth to begin with, so I don't really miss the sweet stuff that much. But I do miss the I do miss the savory snacks a bit more. But I've been eating a lot of meat, so that helps. That makes up for it. So yeah, I've been doing all right. The past, so it's been about a month and a half since I stopped all those things. I've been off of them for a while. And I don't think it would be bad. Like it wouldn't be a problem to have, like, some of that stuff every now and then. It's just... I tend to operate better in terms of extremes. It's easier to avoid that kind of stuff when I just don't have any of it around. I haven't had a soda in forever, but I did have a ginger ale today for my birthday. Right on. I do have, I do have, kombucha. That's my substitute for the fizzy drinks. I'll have a bottle of kombucha once or twice a week. That's probably the most unhealthy thing that I have currently. Well, that, and I do have some breads. Not a lot, but you know. I think the most like junk foody thing that I've had is barbecue sandwiches. Yeah, and that's it. I already eat whole wheat bread just because I like it better. I like the I I don't know. I like the sort of like, how would you describe it? I feel like it has a wheat bread has like a richer flavor to it. I just like it a lot more. I'd rather have a whole wheat kind of bread. So that's easy. That's easy for me to have. I get thinly sliced Dave's Killer Bread. I eat about 4 to 6 slices a day. Dave's Killer Bread. I don't know that brand. I'm guessing it's got a lot of like healthy grains and qualities about it. So my diet's pretty routinized. When I wake up in the afternoon, the first thing I have is a piece of fruit, out of like a whole fruit, usually a banana because bananas are convenient. And I'll have a scoop of nuts, usually cashews, and a gigantic glass of milk. I love milk. So that's my breakfast. And then for dinner, it's usually meat and vegetables. Maybe a little bit of bread. And then sometimes on the stream, I'll have fruit and cheese for snacks, but usually it's nothing. As you know, you've been here for that. And after the stream, I have my daily vitamins and another scoop of nuts. And that's it. That's what I eat. That's what I've been living off of. My vegetables are usually boiled, and I have them with a little bit of butter and salt and pepper. They're pretty straightforward. And the meat is usually grilled or baked. And it's just done real simply, just with oil and salt and maybe some dry seasonings. But I'm not using anything like sauces or anything sugary. And then, like I said, I'll have 1 or 2 kombuchas a week, and I might have a cup of yogurt every now and then too. Again, like once or twice a week, very infrequently, because they're all like, you know, the yogurt. Well, the yogurt's not that bad. It's a little pricey, but the kombuchas are definitely expensive. So I don't want to have too many of those because they add up. So that's my routine. I've been at it for about 6 weeks. So glad to hear you staying on track. Happy for you right now. Hey, thank you, Game and Fifth. Don't know if they carry it in your state. Dave is an ex-convict turned good. Decided to make some really healthy breads. Right on. It's an inspirational story to hear. Breakfast and dinner are the same. Chicken breast / thigh. 1 to 2 slices of toast with nothing on them. An apple and a banana. Peanut butter sandwich. A bowl of whatever fruits are in season for lunch. Optional snacks include a small bowl of frozen blueberries, which is like ice cream. Maybe 1 to 3 handfuls of peanuts. Right on. I do have, so another dinner I'll have, if I'm not having just like the plain, just meat and vegetables, I might have eggs and bacon for dinner. And if I have that, it'll be with a few slices of wheat bread. But my carbs are really cut back. I'm having much, like, I'm not having any like processed carbs, and I'm not having hardly any sugars at all. But we had to cut the carbs real back a whole lot because of Jelly. She has gestational diabetes, so she has to track her blood sugar and keep her carbs real limited, so there won't be problems with the baby. And then my routine is stricter than hers is, just because, yeah, like I said, I'm one of those, like, I operate better at extremes. It also helps. It also helps. It also helps that around the time I decided to make these changes, I started seeing a new doctor, and some of those things came up in conversation, and I told the doctor about like some of the changes I was gonna make, and she was like, "Oh, don't do that. You'll never be able to stick with it." And so then, like, I had to see her again in a couple weeks. So when I did, I said, "Well, I've made all those changes you told me not to take." And she's like, "Oh yeah," and I said, "Yeah," and I stuck with it. And she couldn't believe it. Well, she was telling me to make gradual changes. She told me to make gradual changes because you know, most people operate much better that way. But, you know, I kind of know myself, and I know I don't, so. So yeah, I blew her mind when I went back to see her again that I I said I implemented all those changes, and I have stuck to them. And I have to see her, and so now I'm still unmotivated for the same reasons, right? Because I'm gonna have to see her again in a couple more weeks, so it'll be nice to, having that external accountability helps. Having that external accountability helps too. It's fun to do something. It's fun to do something when people tell you they don't think you can. Usually have some carrots and zucchini or something. Mini carrots. I'm not Bugs Bunny for lunch. Hoping for a speedy recovery. Well, it's an effect of the pregnancy, so it's not like a jelly situation. So it's not something she has to. It's not something she has to get over. It's just something she has to manage. It should sort itself out, you know, as part of the natural process. It took me a year and a half to figure out my diet. Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy with the health benefits and the taste. Felt good going into the doctors a month ago and having him tell me all my labs are great. I'm looking forward to a similar experience. I haven't really gotten back any like dreadful lab numbers. You know, aside from being really overweight, that's really the only number that's super out of whack for me. Or like dangerously so, somehow, fortunately. But it'll be nice to it will be nice to have it will be nice to hear that they are improved nonetheless. Liver took quite a hit after I turned 21, but now it's fixed. How'd I end up on this level again? Aren't we supposed to be doing the night level? I forgot what I was doing and I came back here. I'm trying to hold back a sneeze. No. So I am thinking about moving on from this. I don't, whatever you want, up to you. Oh, I mentioned working on a fitness routine, and ideally, one of my, like, it's not quite the same, but it kind of is one of my goals is to one of my goals is to incorporate a lot more yard work and housework into my daily routine. I want to start making some major changes and improvements to my yard and to my house, which isn't necessarily fitness, but it is. An hour of yard work is is a fitness routine in and of itself. So that's another goal I have, but I'm not really making a lot of progress toward that yet. I'm not nearly as, like, handy as I'd like to be. But I know I've got the capacity to learn, so... The more active you are, the more energy you'll have, especially when you fill your tank with healthy food, Game & Fit says. Well, I set out thinking I wasn't going to be able to complete this. And I hate not completing things I start, but I said at the beginning of the night I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through this, and I could throw myself at it for another hour. But I think for our last hour, I think I just want to do something fun. So I think we will do a run through Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I know I play it a lot. And it's kind of the same every time, but it's something I enjoy and something I can do in about an hour. So I'm going to step away. I'm going to take a very short restroom break, switch the game, and that's what we'll do for the rest of the stream. Is we'll work on that. So thank you for enjoying me for this Pugsley time. It's probably the last we're gonna see of this game on the stream. This is probably our farewell to Pugsley. We beat the game. We got the 3 heart 1 credit run. I think those are achievements enough. I think after this experience, I can be okay. I can be okay saying the 1 heart run is not for me. This missile room kind of ruined it for me. Hey, Vanilla, welcome in. You're here right at a transition point. I'm about to step away for a moment. We're finished up with this game. This game has defeated me tonight. I tried it out in 1 heart mode, and I defeated a third of the game, but I hit a wall. No, I didn't win. I have beat this game. I did beat this game. I beat it a while back, and I got a 1 credit clear on regular difficulty. But I was trying it tonight on the harder difficulty, and it's just too much. I hit a wall. I got a third of the way in, but I hit a wall. So we're gonna keep streaming. I'm gonna change games. We're gonna play Super Ghouls and Ghosts for the last hour. I can get through that game in about an hour. So a win's a win in my book. Yeah, I don't feel terrible about it. I mean, I'm a little sad. I would have been nice to be able to do the 1 heart run, but I didn't really think I could. There's a trick you can use in this game. There's a trick you can use where you can get a whole bunch of extra lives. And if I did that trick, I could maybe luck my way through. But just trying to do it on a regular playthrough, it's not happening. It's not happening for me. But we gave it a shot, and now I know. So let me step away. Let me get things switched over. I'll be gone just a couple minutes, and I'll see you again for some Super Ghouls and Ghosts real soon. I don't get angry at Ghosts and Goblins. I'm expecting to lose with that game. Hey, I hope you make another run, Game & Fit, and if you do, good luck. If you're talking about the NES game, boy, that's tough. It is tough. It's worth beating, though. It's worth beating. You'll feel like $1,000,000 when you do. Alright, one moment, my friend. Just a few minutes.